Universal Declaration of Human Rights was about learning from the lessons of history so that we do not repeat them, so that we as the human family do better. When we look at what is happening really in all regions of the world today, we see threats to the universality of human rights, threats to this basic concept that we are all human and we all have the same rights by virtue of our humanity, regardless of any other groups to which we may belong or to which we may be assumed to belong. So it is a very foundational commitment to equality and dignity. Every report that I present contains conclusions and recommendations, and my hope is that the report is just the beginning of a process and that we move forward together internationally toward implementation. So in this report, I recommended a number of actions. I called on states, for example, to review their laws and make sure that any law that uses culture or religion as a justification for violations of human rights is reviewed and brought into accordance with international standards. I called on states to make sure that those who act on behalf of the state, internationally and domestically, do not use culture and cultural diversity as a justification for violations of universal human rights norms, and that they continuously express their commitment to cultural diversity, but a commitment that is to be enjoyed within the framework of universal human rights. I also call on states to respect and promote the principle of the separation of religion and state as a critically important way to ensure cultural diversity and universal human rights, both for believers who choose to believe in different ways, and people who choose not to be religious believers. I think that that is a critically important part of our commitment both to universality and to cultural diversity. I call on states to make sure that the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in this 70th anniversary year is widely available in as many languages as possible, and I'm pleased that it's one of the most translated documents we have in the world, but there are some indigenous languages, for example, in which it is not available, and what a great way to celebrate not only the anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, but next year's Year of Indigenous Languages, but to make sure that the Universal Declaration is available in more of those languages. And I think we have to do more to build youth commitment to and understanding of and promote youth interaction with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, because its first 70 years must be celebrated. But what is perhaps most important is making sure that it has a strong future for the next 70 years. And for that, we may need to put youth at the center of our human rights initiatives. I think universal human rights is one of the ideas that can save us and that can give us political hope and hope that transcends politics. And that's why this report is so important to me, and that's why I hope you will all join me in celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, renewing our commitment to the universality of human rights and our commitment to cultural diversity in the context of those universal human rights.